Nothing beats a good mystery, particularly one that has remained unsolved for a very long time or nearly impossible to reach. So, today, we're exploring 5 of the most mysterious and inaccessible ancient places, starting with a breathtaking marvel in the mountains of Ethiopia. Abune Yamata Ga. This area, known for its vast, arid plains and jagged mountains, is a testament to ancient civilizations that once thrived here. Among these wonders is the monolithic Ethiopian Orthodox Church of Abune Yamata Ga, built in the 6th century in honor of Abune Yamata, one of the legendary 9 saints. What makes this church truly extraordinary is its location, perched 8,460 feet above the ground. The only way to reach it is through a treacherous ascent, best attempted barefoot for grip. The church's staggering height symbolizes a spiritual journey, bringing worshippers closer to heaven. The pilgrimage begins with a challenging climb up steep rock faces, guided by handholds and footholds worn into the stone over centuries. But the true test of courage comes later. Climbers must cross a natural stone bridge, just wide enough for a single step, with an 820-foot drop on either side. Beyond that lies a precarious wooden footbridge suspended over another sheer drop. And if that weren't enough, the final leg demands scaling a vertical rock wall with no safety equipment. Even after this grueling climb, the journey isn't over. Visitors must edge across a narrow ledge hugging the cliff face, where a single misstep means falling thousands of feet. At last, they reach the entrance, a dark, unassuming opening that leads into the heart of the church. As their eyes adjust to the dim light, they're greeted by a stunning interior, its walls and dome adorned with vivid frescoes. These ancient paintings, preserved for centuries by the dry climate and remote location, depict scenes from the Old Testament and honor the 9 saints, the missionaries credited with bringing Christianity to Ethiopia in the 5th century. Archaeologists believe these frescoes are among the earliest visual representations of the Bible. Inside, the church consists of several chambers, some containing human remains, bones of individuals carried up the mountain for burial or religious rituals. The surrounding region is also home to other cliffside churches, many still maintained by Ethiopian Orthodox monks. Incredibly, these monks dedicate their lives to solitude and worship. In the past, they bartered Bible readings for drinking water from local villagers to avoid descending the mountain. Some have lived atop these cliffs for decades, embracing a lifestyle that brings them closer to the heavens in both a literal and spiritual sense. Sigiriya. Among the many ancient, hard-to-reach locations scattered across the globe, few are as remarkable as Sigiriya, a towering megalithic fortress city in Sri Lanka's central province. Perched atop a colossal granite column that rises approximately 600 feet above the surrounding plains, Sigiriya is a marvel of human ingenuity and creativity. The site has a history that stretches back to prehistoric times, but its most notable chapter began in the late 5th century. According to ancient Sri Lankan chronicles, the area was originally a dense forest. Legends say that powerful storms and landslides caused the granite column to rise dramatically from the earth, creating a natural stronghold. This striking feature caught the attention of King Kashyapa, who chose it as the site for his new capital city. The king transformed the rock into a vibrant center of art and architecture. The sides of the column were adorned with intricate paintings celebrating his kingdom, while the summit was crowned with a majestic palace. One of the most fascinating features of the city was a massive brick wall coated in highly polished plaster, so reflective that the king reportedly used it as a mirror. Over time, visitors etched poems and inscriptions onto this wall, with some of these writings dating as far back as the 8th century. Kashyapa's city wasn't limited to the rock itself. At its base, he constructed an elaborate network of water gardens, ingeniously designed with advanced engineering techniques that were centuries ahead of their time. These gardens included reservoirs, deep pools, and interconnected causeways. Halfway up the steep ascent, a natural plateau was sculpted into a monumental lion-shaped gateway, giving the site its name, Sigiriya, which translates to the Lion Rock. After King Kashyapa's death, the city fell into decline, eventually becoming a Buddhist monastery until the 14th century. Though much of the palace has crumbled into ruins, the artistry and innovation of its builders remain evident. Many of the original frescoes and architectural features are remarkably well preserved. Today, Sigiriya is celebrated as one of the most significant archaeological sites in the world and has earned its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its rich history and awe-inspiring design continue to captivate historians, engineers, and visitors alike. Skellig Michael. Rising from the stormy waters of the Atlantic Ocean, about 9 miles off the coast of County Kerry in Ireland, are the rugged peaks of Skellig Michael. This breathtaking island, one of 2 jagged outcrops in the area, conceals a hidden gem, a monastery thought to be over 1,400 years old. From a distance, Skellig Michael appears wild and untouched, as though no human has ever set foot on its rocky slopes. But closer inspection reveals ancient winding paths that snake their way up the treacherous cliffs, leading to its summit. Perched at an elevation of 750 feet, nestled between the craggy peaks, is a remarkable cluster of stone structures. Built in the 7th century, these beehive-shaped buildings, called klochans, served as shelter for a small group of monks who sought isolation and spiritual connection. For over 600 years, the monastery endured the relentless Atlantic winds and rains, and its surprisingly well-preserved remains stand as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its creators. The site includes more than just the iconic klochans. There are terraces, 2 oratories, and a church with walls over 2 meters thick. A traditional graveyard lies among the buildings, marking the final resting place of Gaelic monks who lived and perhaps died, constructing this sacred retreat. Building these structures on such steep and unforgiving terrain must have been a monumental task, and it's likely some of the graves belong to those who gave their lives in the process. Despite extensive research, the reasons for the monastery's eventual abandonment remain a mystery. What we do know is that its legacy endures. Archaeologists estimate the site was occupied for several centuries, providing a glimpse into the lives of its dedicated inhabitants who sought refuge from the chaos of the world in this remote sanctuary. Today, access to Skellig Michael is tightly controlled to protect its fragile ruins. Only 13 licensed guides are permitted to bring visitors to the island each year, and even then, trips are infrequent and highly weather-dependent. This careful preservation effort ensures that the story of Skellig Michael and the remarkable determination of those who live there remains intact for generations to come. Paro Taktsang. This awe-inspiring structure clings to the edge of a steep cliff, sitting at an altitude of nearly 10,000 feet. For centuries, Buddhist monks and pilgrims have made the challenging journey to this site, drawn by its spiritual significance and breathtaking views. Originally, Paro Taktsang was a simple meditation cave, used as early as the 8th century by practitioners seeking solitude. According to legend, the revered tantric Buddhist master Guru Padmasambhava, often called the second Buddha, arrived here on the back of a flying tiger, said to be his mystical consort. It was within this cave that he meditated for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 3 hours, spreading the teachings of Buddhism and laying the spiritual foundation of Bhutanese culture. The transformation of the site into a monastery began in the 17th century, when the Bhutanese government sought to preserve its sacred history. Today, reaching Paro Taktsang is no easy feat. Visitors must hike 6 miles from the town of Paro, climbing over 3,000 feet through dense forests and rugged terrain. Along the way, they encounter dizzying drops, and the sound of a cascading 330-foot waterfall that adds to the site's ethereal beauty. Once at the top, visitors are rewarded with the monastery's stunning architecture, a collection of interconnected buildings painted in white and gold, blending seamlessly with the cliffside. Inside, shrines and relics honor Guru Padmasambhava and the many monks who meditated here. One notable legend tells of Pelki, a devoted disciple of the Guru, who meditated at the site and whose remains are said to have miraculously appeared in a shrine above the monastery's entrance after his death. Katsky Pillar. In the Imereti region of Georgia, a towering limestone monolith known as the Katsky Pillar rises 131 feet above the surrounding forest. Officially recognized as part of the Georgian Orthodox Church, the pillar is often associated with the true cross, symbolizing a closer connection to God. Mentions of Katsky Pillar date back to 18th century Georgian texts, but its origins remain shrouded in mystery. It wasn't until the 1940s that the site was studied in detail, when mountaineers Alexander Japaridze and Levan Gotua made the first documented ascent. Their exploration revealed the remains of a small 9th or 10th century church perched atop the rock, along with a crypt, 3 living quarters, and even a wine cellar. Archaeological digs have uncovered ancient clay vessels, hinting at the resourcefulness of its early inhabitants. Legends describe the Katsky Pillar as a place of divine isolation, accessible only to the bravest monks. In its early days, climbing the sheer rock face required extraordinary courage and faith. Early texts stated, "There is a rock within the ravine standing like a pillar, considerably high. There is a small church on the top of the rock, but nobody is able to ascend it, nor know they how to do that." Religious activity at the site ceased for centuries until the 1990s, when it was revived by the Georgian Orthodox Church. A state-funded restoration project soon followed, stabilizing the ancient structures. One man, Father Maxim Kavtaradze, lived atop the pillar for more than 20 years, dedicating his life to preserving the site. He only descended twice a week to gather supplies and pray with the monastery's community below. Today, the Katsky Pillar remains an enigma. While male visitors were once allowed to climb the iron ladder to the top, access is now restricted to monks who continue the tradition of solitude and prayer. Despite modern studies, little is known about the original builders of the church or how they managed such a feat of construction. That's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which ancient mysteries we should uncover next.